This is a public service announcement from your friendly neighborhood Dookieshed. As some of you may know, I am kind of obsessed with the Metroid series, and as luck would have it, Nintendo has released not one, not two, but all three Metroid Prime games on the Wii U eShop, and I'm here to convince you to play them. But even if you don't have a Wii U, you can still get the original games fairly cheaply as long as you have a Wii or GameCube, so you should still watch this video. Anyway, I've been wanting to make a Metroid-related video for a while now, and I figured this was just as good an excuse as any, so I'm gonna do a little review and convince you guys that you need to play this game. So here it is. So if you've never gotten into the Metroid series, that's the game that stars everyone's favorite orange-clad, large-shouldered, and oftentimes sexually objectified bounty hunter, Samus Aran. You know, that character that's always bad in Smash Bros. Unless she's without her incredibly powerful power suit. No, it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, the Metroid series is about Samus going to other planets to explore them, fight aliens, and ultimately deal with these horrible, head-sucking, energy-draining creatures called Metroids. There's also this whole faction called the Space Pirates that you have to deal with in pretty much every game, and they're usually trying to use Metroids to take over the galaxy because they're dicks like that. In the case of Metroid Prime, the entire overarching plot of the three games is that the pirates are trying to use this newfound energy called Phazon to create roid-raging versions of just about every nasty critter they can get their hands on, especially Metroids. And Samus is out to try to stop them because F that noise. And by the way, I'm going to be reviewing the Prime Trilogy as a whole and not each individual game because they all follow largely the same formula. Prime's premise is fairly simple, really, but Metroid is all about the presentation. I consider Metroid Prime a work of art as much as I do a video game because of the way all the game's elements come together to create an unforgettable and immersive experience. Metroid games have always been this way, really, but Metroid Prime was the first 3D Metroid, and it was in first person, which I will admit made me highly skeptical. I mean, from what I knew, FPS games were all the same mindless Call of Duty Modern Honor clones, and I didn't want them doing that to my beloved Metroid. But the shift into first person made Metroid Prime that much more engaging. It's awesome to be able to look out of Samus's visor from her point of view and see all these terrifying and beautiful things as she would. If I had to sum up Metroid Prime in one word, it would be atmosphere. That's what makes these games so good. Everything from the ambient music, to the first-person controls, to the way her visor gets fogged up depending on your surroundings, to the awesome landscapes and ancient ruins just pulls you into the game's world and makes you just want to explore all the things! And I haven't even mentioned her ability to scan things. If you're one of those people that loves finding little notes and clues scattered throughout a game that help to paint a better picture of the game's world, then you'll love Metroid Prime. Samus's scan visor first appeared in Metroid Prime, and while all the previous Metroid games had colorful and breathtaking environments, you didn't really know much else about them. But in Prime, you can scan nearly everything. Want to know what that weird plant thing is? Scan it! Want to find out how this poor space pirate died? Scan him! Want to find out a boss's weak point? Scan that sucker! Want to know how a freaking door works? Scan that shit! Some of the scanning I feel is pretty necessary in order to understand the full scope of what's going on in the game's story, but a lot of it is just there for people who are really curious and enjoy exploring and learning. When you're playing Metroid Prime, it's as if you're constantly stumbling into the aftermath of some kind of battle or accident, and it's not until you start looking around and scanning your environments that you can piece together exactly what happened, and I think that's really cool. Instead of the game being like, hey, so here's what happened, or just showing you what happened, they let you find out on your own, which is much more fun if you ask me. I guess this wouldn't be a full review if I didn't talk about the boring shit like controls, so if you get the trilogy on the eShop, the controls will be done using the Wiimote, which is how Prime 3 normally is, but they went ahead and adapted Prime 1 and 2 to use those controls, and they're actually really responsive and functional. None of that Skyward Sword nonsense. If you just go on eBay or whatever and buy the Prime games individually, you'll obviously just be using a GameCube controller, which also works great. That's how I played it the first time, and I absolutely loved it. Prime 3 was on Wii originally, and it used motion controls with the Wiimote and Nunchuck, and you could do a lot of fun stuff like sling out your grapple beam and rip an enemy's shield off. Trust me, it's fun, and it works. All in all, the Metroid Prime Trilogy is one of the most unique and unforgettable gaming experiences I've ever had, and I can't recommend it to you guys enough. It will literally improve your life. No joke. So there you have it, folks. I just wanted to let you guys know that the Metroid Prime Trilogy is on the eShop right now, and it is an insanely good deal, and it's so worth getting, so hopefully I convinced you. And I'd like to thank you for watching this video. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, or I will kill you!